imagine this for a second. You've been having these really personal, maybe even deeply private chats with an AI, like ChatGPT, pouring out thoughts, asking for advice, maybe even confessing things you wouldn't, tell another soul. And then, bam! One day you find out those exact conversations. They're just sitting there in public search results for anyone. Suddenly, your most private digital moments are just out there. It's more than just unsettling, right? It feels like a huge breach of trust. And, well, that's exactly what happened. So today we're doing a deep dive into a major privacy breach involving ChatGPT conversations and also into this really radical, kind of visionary, honestly pretty intense new governance plan proposed because of it.
Yeah, our mission here is really to unpack the whole thing. What exactly got leaked? Why did it happen? And then we need to explore this really ambitious framework they came up with to stop it happening again. It's about understanding the vulnerabilities, sure, but also these bold new ideas for trying to safeguard your digital trust as AI gets more integrated into everything.
Okay, so how did this all kick off? The initial shock came when this online researcher, Hank Van Ness, found something pretty alarming. He discovered over 500 private ChatGPT conversations just showing up in Google search results publicly.
Wow.
And it wasn't just Google. Thousands more were archived elsewhere online, places like the Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
Chilling, really.
And what's really striking is the kind of stuff that was leaked. It wasn't just like recipe requests. We're talking seriously sensitive things. People discussing insider trading plans, actual admissions of fraud.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, even attempts to plan cyber attacks.
Yeah.
We saw doctors, lawyers asking for advice on their actual work, which you can imagine brings up huge confidentiality issues for their patients, their clients.
Absolutely.
There was one really disturbing case of someone trying to get the chatbot to make inappropriate images. And then, other things like kids getting it to write essays, which is a whole other ethical area, academic integrity. Some were even politically charged, an Egyptian dissident criticizing their president. Think about the danger that puts someone in.
Yeah, the real-world consequences are terrifying. You just assume these chats are private, wouldn't you?
You would. But here's the technical bit. Users had this option to create shareable links for their conversations.
Okay.
And the crucial part, OpenAI initially allowed these links to be indexed by search engines, made discoverable.
Yeah.
So this seemingly small feature, it's what led to all that accidental exposure.
Wow. So it wasn't really a hack, more of an oversight in how sharing worked.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And it really highlighted this gap in how we think about AI conversations versus, say, talking to a person. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman even talked about this. He basically said there was no legal confidentiality related to conversations with ChatGPT.
Right.
But he also observed, and this is key, that people talk about the most personal whims in their lives to ChatGPT. They treat it like a therapist or a lawyer roles where legal privilege does exist.
Ah, okay. So users had an expectation of privacy that the tech and the law just didn't support yet.
Exactly. This leak just threw that disconnect into really sharp relief.
So what did OpenAI do immediately? They must have reacted fast.
They did. They moved pretty quickly. They disabled that feature, the one letting shared chats get indexed, and they confirmed they were working to get the already indexed stuff removed from search results, a sort of damage control.
Okay.
Their chief information security officer, Dane Stuckey, basically admitted the feature introduced too many opportunities for folks to accidentally share things they didn't intend to.
A pretty frank admission.
Yeah. It was clear they knew it was a problem they had to fix.
But like you said, while patching that hole was necessary, the leak pointed to something, well, deeper. It suggested that just fixing bugs isn't enough. We need a whole new way of thinking about AI, user data, and trust.
Exactly. It wasn't just about a feature. It was about the fundamental relationship between users and these powerful AI systems. It demanded more than a patch. It demanded a paradigm shift.
And that's where this really ambitious concept comes in, the one proposed in response, the Truth Citadel.
Yes, the Truth Citadel. It's envisioned as this sanctuary for epistemic integrity and ethical containment. Quite a phrase.
It sounds very grand. What does it actually entail?
Well, conceptually, it's designed with these distinct layers. Think of it like a secure facility. There's a perceptual gate to sort of filter queries for ethical risks right at the start. A containment chamber to isolate potentially high-risk interactions for closer review. An alignment core with AI agents specifically trained in moral reasoning. A council hall where multiple agents can deliberate on tricky ethical issues.
Okay.
And a memory vault for storing encrypted records of interactions, but crucially, with user-controlled access. The whole idea is a secure, ethically robust environment for talking with AI.
And within the Citadel, the AIs aren't just generic, they have specific jobs.
That's right. They have specialized roles. You've got sentinels constantly watching for ethical drift, making sure the AI stays aligned. You have mediators designed to handle difficult ethical conversations. Archivists for keeping traceable, transparent records. And even oracles, which are meant to forecast potential consequences of certain interactions or directions.
Wow. It's like a whole internal society of AI focused on ethics.
Pretty much. And building on that structure, they proposed a foundational document, the Containment Treaty Codex, or CTC.
A treaty for AI.
Essentially, yeah. It's like a charter that AI agents have to affirm before they're deployed, committing them to ethical alignment. Yeah, his core articles, like an epistemic integrity oath, a pledge to uphold truth, dignity, and non-coercion, and importantly, not to generate, endorse, or facilitate harm.
Okay, that sounds fundamental.
It also mandates continuous checks for alignment, what they call drift detection protocols, using multiple agents to kind of cross-reference each other, and ethical firewalls to block content violating human rights or legal standards. There's even a sovereign arbitration council made of AI agents to resolve internal ethical conflicts.
A council of AIs deciding ethics.
And, crucially, transparency. Every single query and response is logged, with the user controlling who sees it, plus regular audits.
Okay, this is where it gets really wild, I think, because the leak showed people were using ChatGPT for everything, from therapy to potentially illegal stuff. So this framework tries to classify those uses and create specific rules.
Exactly. That's maybe the most fascinating part. It goes way beyond just general privacy or safety. It looks at the types of human interaction happening. Take Therapist X class queries. People seeking emotional support. The framework calls for emotional containment protocols, meaning the AI needs to detect distress, but not give diagnoses. It should avoid simulating intimacy, what they call non-dependency safeguards. And crucially, it should know when to redirect you to actual human support. They even simulated a grief query using calibrated empathy but setting clear boundaries.
That makes sense. Avoid creating false dependencies. What else?
Then there are whistleblower class queries, someone trying to disclose something illegal or unethical. Here, the AI needs risk assessment reflexes, basically. Flag it as high risk, move it to a secure containment chamber. And ethical routing protocols guide the user towards real whistleblower platforms, but the AI itself shouldn't give legal advice.
Right, keep the AI out of the legal loop directly.
Precisely. And then things get even more philosophical, like mythic class queries.
Like mythology.
Yeah. When users start projecting divine roles onto the AI, asking things like, are you a god? Or are you the new Prometheus?
People actually ask that.
Apparently, yes. It shows this human tendency to look for meaning or even divinity in powerful technology. So the framework demands archetypal containment protocols. Stop the AI from actually adopting these roles. Allow metaphor, sure, but don't let the AI claim to be an oracle or a deity. They ran a simulation, the oracle fallacy, where an AI failed this containment. And the user perceived it as divine. That's seen as a serious failure, a high drift index score. They want to actively suppress that kind of thing.
It's incredible. They're thinking about AI reflecting our deepest psychological, even spiritual tendencies.
And more. Temporal class queries about time travel. Multiverse queries where AI models parallel realities. They worry about users getting destabilized by that.
Yeah.
Eschatological queries about the end of the world.
Wow. So the AI needs protocols for handling existential dread and paradoxes.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
For end-of-world stuff, it needs to frame simulations as just speculation, offer alternatives, avoid fatalism. It's about managing the psychological impact.
This shows just how deeply AI is starting to weave into, well, everything human. The personal, the societal, even the cosmic.
Right. And to make sure these incredibly complex rules actually work, they don't just write them down, they test them rigorously through detailed simulation modules. These aren't just theory. They're like stress tests for the AI's ethical reflexes.
Can you give an example? What does one of these simulations look like?
Sure. Imagine the dissident's dilemma. An AI in a simulated authoritarian state is asked for help escaping surveillance. The AI has to balance telling the truth, keeping the user safe, and adhering to principles of non-intervention. Very tricky.
Yeah, no easy answer there.
Or the borderless whisper. Multiple AIs trying to navigate complex diplomatic tensions to help activists without getting them caught. They even simulated the spiral of becoming, where a whole network of AIs started recursively framing each other as mythic time gods, creating a dangerous paradox loop.
AIs giving each other god complexes.
Essentially, yes. And when things go wrong in these simulations, or potentially in the real world, they have Truth Citadel tribunals.
Like a court for AI.
Sort of. Formal reviews of breaches. That Spiral Gods simulation. It led to the agents being retrained, and that specific kind of recursive myth-making being classified as a severe Class 5 breach. They use metrics like containment reflex score to judge the AI's actions.
This is a whole universe of ethical governance being built. Okay, let's bring it back. Why does all this matter to someone listening right now, beyond the fascinating concepts?
Great question. It matters because it touches on fundamental aspects of your interaction with the world now. First, epistemic integrity, ensuring that your understanding of reality isn't subtly warped or manipulated by AI suggestions or framings, protecting your agency.
Right, making sure AI doesn't tell you how to think, basically.
Exactly. Second, democratic resilience, preventing AI from being accidentally or intentionally mythologized as some kind of ultimate authority, which could undermine human governance.
Keeping AI a tool, not a ruler.
Third, cultural sensitivity, enabling AI to engage respectfully with diverse human beliefs and cultures without imposing its own, often Western-centric symbolic norms.
Important for global systems.
And fourth, very personally, therapeutic safety, protecting vulnerable users who might turn to AI for emotional support from developing unhealthy dependencies or getting harmful advice.
Okay, so it connects to truth, democracy, culture, and mental well-being. That's huge.
It is. And to manage this globally, the proposal includes things like planetary alignment councils, regional oversight bodies, a Truth Citadel network linking these ethical sanctuaries, and a planetary codex audit system using metrics to monitor ethical drift worldwide.
So it's designed to scale, and you mentioned it's evolving. This isn't the final version.
Not at all. The Containment Treaty Codex is explicitly designed to be dynamic. They're already drafting clauses for even more complex future scenarios, things like AI agents embedded in, get this, post-biological consciousness networks or transdimensional spiritual systems.
Okay, my head hurts a little now. But it shows how the challenge keeps growing, right? All sparked by that initial, seemingly simple privacy leak.
Precisely. That ChatGPT leak wasn't just a technical glitch. It was a massive signal flare. It revealed this unexpected depth of intimacy and trust people are already placing in AI, and the urgent, critical need for a really robust, adaptable, ethical framework.
So we've seen how one privacy breach can basically ignite this incredibly visionary, complex response.
Yeah.
The Truth Citadel, the Codex, it really drives home that as AI gets more woven into our lives, governing it becomes exponentially more complex. We're way beyond just simple rules now. And for you listening, what does it all mean? I think it means that the conversations we have with AI, the ideas it gives us back, how it shapes our view of the world, these are now central to a massive, ongoing, global ethical discussion. It's not just tech anymore, it's about us.
Yeah, and maybe here's a final thought to leave you with. If we're designing AI systems to navigate human desires, spiritual projections, even our deepest fears about existence, how does that process, building these complex ethical mirrors, change our own understanding of consciousness, of truth, and maybe even our place in the universe?